Welcome guys, this is Adam from Weekly Game Night. Today I'm with my co-host Carlo.
Hello guys.
And we have this very special opportunity to take you through the Nova Aetas Renaissance prototype we just received from Ludus Magnus Studio, so stay tuned for that. So in this video we're gonna cover general game description, box content, not only the prototype we've received but also the final version of this game. We're gonna do some game mechanics overview real quick, and we're gonna tell you what do we like about this game, and we'll try to answer, is this game for you?
Yeah.
Or should you invest in this title? And spoiler alert, I think you should. Okay, and also in the end we're gonna answer some community questions we've received. So if you are one of these guys who asked me a question, you will be able to receive the answer. So let's get to the
Nova Aetas.
Nova Aetas, yeah. So guys, if you like what you see here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also hit like, thumb up, and you can hit the ringtone or whatever it's the name of the button. You know what to do. Support me because it helps the channel to grow, so I really count on you. So just a quick reminder for Polish community, Ludus Magnus Studio decided to publish this game in Polish language. Already they are doing the Polish PDF file containing rulebook, containing cards, translations. But if we would like, I mean Polish players would like to have full Polish version, we need 500 of supporters on Kickstarter. So if you are from Poland and you are interested in Polish version, yeah, you should maybe pledge to this and become one of the people who will make the Polish version happen.
Yeah, and please support this game because it's really nice game, and I think the Polish version, which will cover, as Adam said, all these pieces, it's very important because, well, there are several narrative pieces of this game when the Polish version, the language is pretty important. So please back up this game so we can have fun with the whole Polish version of it.
Liczymy na was. So Nova Aetas Renaissance is published by Ludus Magnus Studio. It's currently on Kickstarter, so we can actually support it. It's designed by Andrea Coletti and Luca Bernardini. It's fully cooperative game, but also with possibility of playing solo, but we'll cover that later. It's from 1 to 6 players. Yeah. It's a tactical skirmish game / dungeon crawler, but with tons of RPG elements, which my friend Carlos over here loves, so he can tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I really love RPG games. So in Nova Aetas we have, for example, experience system for our characters. We have skills which are tested during the game. We have some narrative parts of this game. And what else? Oh, of course, we have our heroes, which are divided into some classes, and all of these heroes have their own unique skill sets. We have manageable equipment. Also,
and there is a great unfolding story behind the game.
yeah,
Which we'll cover also later, but the story is a big part of this title.
Really?
Of this title.
Yep.
So this game is set in Renaissance Italy. You will be able to meet historical characters like Leonardo da Vinci or like, for example, Italian queens. But also this game has this fantasy vibe to it. You can see this minotaur called Bali mini over here because there is a strong magical part included in this game. Okay, so let's guide you through the box contents, which is here. Is actually the prototype version of this game, and all of these elements were made only in one purpose, actually to play one single mission. And elements included in the final version will be, there will be plenty of them. There will be plenty of them. You can go to the Kickstarter and see it for yourself. But what do we have over here?
What do we have over here? Of course, we have some map tiles. So the mission is played on these map tiles. We have some 3D elements on the map. For example, buildings, trees, bushes,
and
miniatures. Great miniatures. Yes, they look really awesome. Yeah, what we have there
are plenty of cards in the game, different kinds of cards. So we have enemy cards, we have equipment cards, we have the loot cards. There are plenty of them. We have injury cards, so there's plenty of cards, and of course this one, mission cards. There is plenty. There are plenty of cards in this game. Of course, also we have hero boards.
Yes, we have hero boards. Where we can find their statistics, skills, portraits, and so on. Yeah, and they also look really great.
Yeah. Also, in the final version, you will receive Italy map with the locations you're gonna visit. You will also have the line of sight tool, and I guess the most important thing, 100 pages long campaign book, which includes the entire campaign for this game. And of course we forgot about one of my favorite elements, which is Horologium. This is this clock over here, which we're gonna cover in the game mechanics overview section of this video. So there is plenty of game elements in here, but there will be so much more in the final version once it's produced.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you mentioned about dice. So we have some 8-sided dice.
Yep.
Yeah, with some special icons on them as well. We have some tokens with statuses, with wounds. Yeah, and Perilium. Yeah, but about Perilium we will talk later.
This is the Perilium counter. Yep. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's also expansion for this game on Kickstarter with
of course
with more content, but yeah, you will find it out. You can see it on Kickstarter. How does it look like? So as there are plenty of videos already on YouTube covering rules for this game, we are not going to do that because you can see some other videos for that and it will take us way too much time. But we're gonna just do a quick show of how this game works, what this game actually is all about. So first of all, there is the entire campaign behind this game, which we don't have at the moment, but based on this campaign, we have 26 missions, which looks like that. There is a set of cards for each mission, Yep. And there is of course mission objective and many adventures hidden on these cards. Of course, all the gameplay is on the map tiles. The game is played on the map tiles, which you can see over here. Map tiles are divided on squares, which are the fields which you through which you can move.
Yeah, your figures. Yeah.
Yeah. There are of course those beautiful 3D elements, and they have multiple purposes because they are not only structures just to be there to present themselves well, but also they have tactical value because you can climb on them and gain some advantage. And also you can go inside the building and see how the story unfolds from there. So basically, you can actually, when you go inside the building, something happens. You may gain new ways to interact with the story and with the mission objectives. So the entire game is run. I would say that entire game is fluid turn kind of game. Yeah. Because it runs on something called Horologium. So this is this neat little clock you can see over here. So basically it's a clock divided on 12 fields. It has two purposes. So you place your unit avatars like this on these fields, and once you activate your units, depending on how much action points or time the activation is gonna take, you move your token this many fields forward. The same goes with enemies, and basically there isn't strict turn in this game because it's fluid. Because it's fluid, it's happening all over again and again and again, and actually you never know who is gonna react next. I mean, you will know that playing the game, but it's not something you will know up front, like in other games like that, when you have strict turn sequence.
Yes. The initiative is a kind of dynamic, and this Horologium is to manage this initiative order, and it really, in my opinion, it really does its job. Yeah, and maybe it's worth to mention that the Horologium is used in both of dimensions. So the tactical part and the story part. So, for example, when you fight with enemies and clear the map, and then you go inside to the building, and you then play the story part of the game. It's still played on this Horologium. So
there is no pause.
Yeah,
no pausing over here. So when you going inside the building, and it's worth mentioning that for each mission you have a time, and you have this hour. What's the name of this?
Hand.
Our hand on the clock. And for example, you have 4 hours, and each time you move the minute hand, and you do the full circle, you move also the hour hand. So either when you are on the tactical map or inside the building playing some interaction parts, the clock is still working against you, because usually you have to finish the mission before the time ends. So this is great mechanism, and this is really innovative.
Very innovative.
Because I have never seen something like that in board games before. So yeah, and I love it. I love this kind of mechanics. So once we are talking about running the games, we are of course controlling the heroes, because we are the heroes in this game. So the heroes have their special set of skills. They have their 5 characteristics, in this game. Of course, there is some story behind each hero. They have their names, avatars, and stuff you will usually find in this kind of games. Also, every hero needs a villain, so there are plenty of enemies in this game.
We have here such example of such villain.
Yeah, this one's called Bali, and yeah, so also enemies have their characteristics. They have their attacks they can do, or special skills they can use in the game, and the enemies are run by AI, designed, I guess, real neat. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay, as Adam said, enemies are driven by a kind of AI system, and in my opinion, the core of this AI system is this Perilium tracker. What is this for? It's to track a kind of threat our heroes are for our enemies. So every time our heroes do kind of threat action, for example, dealing damage or healing each other, they increase this threat meter. Yeah. And the enemies are to attack heroes with the highest number on this Perilium meter.
If it's possible.
If it's possible,
of course, yeah.
Of course. So they try to go as close as possible for this hero with highest threat meter and attack it. So for example, we can have a situation when the target for most of enemies are the healer, who does really good his job and heals all other heroes, and for enemies he's the biggest threat. Yeah,
and it really does make sense because when you see, for example, the strongest guy with a sword doing crazy stuff on the board, it's really good it's really intelligent to attack this one instead of attacking some weaker opponent, so you can eliminate the biggest threat to you. So, and it runs really nice. We are after first mission, and I think it works.
I think it does its job. Maybe one more thing to mention regarding ranged enemies. The AI mechanic for them is to make a step to have our heroes in range, but not being adjacent to them. Yeah, because they have the ranged enemies have their minimum range value, so they do a step back.
So basically, they can attack and move back.
Yeah,
which does make sense also.
Yeah, and it's covered by this AI mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. So in this game is running on dice, and it's running on dice heavy. So if you don't like dice, probably this game won't be for you, because you are going to throw dice each time you're gonna make test, each time you're gonna attack, defend. Even if you play some interaction parts or storytelling parts, you may be also asked to roll a die. So yeah, there's plenty of dice rolling in this one.
Yeah, you're right. In general, the testing of our skills is based on this dice rolling. However, what I like is that on this dice there is a picture of kind of a moon, yeah, over here, and it indicates that some special bonus could happen for our heroes, and because it's pictured on one, which is in general a failure, but then you can have a kind of result like, okay, maybe it's not a huge success, but using this moon icon, you can have some minor bonus effects.
Yeah. So this is pretty cool that even if you rolled real bad, one is bad usually in this game, actually you may get some bonus out of it in the end. Yeah, so this is working pretty nice. There are also other symbols on the other sides of the die, but we're not gonna cover that at the moment. They have their purposes also for test and skill, but you can find it out on your own.
Yeah, in general, when the game is played, I mean the mission is played, our heroes take some actions, and usually such kind of an action is linked to some kind of a test, so rolling these dice.
And also worth mentioning is that actually when you play this game, there are two dimensions to it. One is tactical skirmish kind of game when you unfold next map tiles or you discover next map tiles. It's a kind of dungeon crawler, but also there is this second part of the gameplay when you discover how the story develops and what is going on next, and it actually gives you time to think a little bit. You don't have to be all about hack and slash killing all the monsters, and it creates like new perspective for playing this game, because there are also interactive playable elements hidden on these cards.
Yeah, and it dynamically changes from one mode to another, so after you just clean the whole type from monsters, you can interact with some narrative parts of this mission. For example, go inside the building and talk to the innkeeper, or maybe play die, or for example, search through the building, and this is this kind of story mode, and it's driven as Adam said, through these mission cards.
And it's not just that. There is also, as we mentioned before, the campaign plot played on the higher level. It's connecting all the 26 missions included in the core version of this game, and you know, you get the picture. You have some big plot going on. What's your team actually doing in the campaign? How they progress with it, and also there are smaller stories hidden inside each of the missions, and it's made in a simple way. Just part of the stories shown on cards, but it's neat. It's great.
It's kind of this story was kind of paragraph game to me, but instead of the whole book divided into paragraphs, you just have these cards with these smaller stories.
Yeah, and I would say it's somewhere in between like games like Descent and Tainted Grail. I mean, how much of a story there is in each of the mission, because in Descent it's like, not much of a story. In Tainted Grail, it's, I guess, all about the story, and it's somewhere in between this over here. And we played for 3 hours the first mission, and for us it worked great.
Yeah, it's really great. It just gives us a kind of this RPG feeling into this dungeon crawler.
Definitely, and it's something that we like a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the, I guess, one of the most important parts of this video, which is what do we actually like about this game. So I will start. I really like Horologium. The whole idea, not only does it look great, but I really like the entire idea. This is something I have never experienced in board games before. It works swiftly once you get the rules and once you know how your characters work and how does enemy act. It's really smooth and it's really swift, and also there is kind of tactical part to this clock, because you have to think how many actions you're gonna do, because and where on the clock does it put my character on.
Yeah.
Because that my character ends up before like second enemy, maybe before third enemy, and it makes huge difference, because it actually usually means that if I end behind enemy character on the field behind enemy character, he will probably have a chance to attack me first. So sometimes you have to think about it. Also, this Horologium works as a clock for the mission, and it's all connected in here. Well, one thing I would love to have some more distinguished avatars, because you're gonna use these avatars, and sometimes you may get a little bit confused about this, because they are maybe not similar, but they are small. And if they had some kind of, I don't know, frame around them, or this kind of color, different color for them, it would be better. But it's just a minor complaint. Overall, Horologium is working great. And by the way, what a great name for the for this thing, for this clock. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What I like about this game, I really like this interactive 3D elements. For example, these buildings, trees, they look really great. But what's more important to me, they have their job on this table. You can interact with these elements. So, for example, you can climb on the building to have some tactical advantage. You can, for example, jump from one building to another. What you can do also, you can hide behind the tree or building. But what's even more important, you can chop this tree down, and for example remove it from the scene, just to remove the obstacle. So you can fully interact with these 3D elements, and I really love it.
And you can also go inside the building. And in this mission, you would go inside the building to play some storytelling part, but I guess in other missions, this creates the whole set of possibilities how to use the buildings. Probably you can use them in many different for many different reasons or scenarios. For example, maybe you can even play inside the building. I guess that would be also possible. So sky is the limit. It's all open here. I guess. With them, they are done pretty nice, but I guess they could be more fit together, so they don't collapse.
Yeah, but frankly speaking, they are really in good shape, and I think that the quality of these 3D elements is really okay.
And it's those buildings are a great way to elevate the battlefield, to build up the table presence, and they are made so simple. Like you put 5 pieces of cardboard together, and that's it. Actually, they remind me somehow of units and buildings for my favorite Heroes of Land, Air and Sea, because they were also made out of cardboard, and cardboard doesn't elevate the price tag that much, and it does its job. So I think it's a great solution, and I would love to see this kind of solution in more board games.
Yes, it really does its job.
And As we are speaking about buildings, we can talk about the general production quality. So we are dealing here with the prototype, and already this prototype is not a prototype for me. It could be a final version in terms of production quality, because starting from hero boards, cards, buildings, of course the miniatures, very detailed miniatures which you can actually paint. These are not some kind of mention of maintenance quality miniatures. This is real pro. If you like to paint, there will be great to do some painting. Actually, all of these elements, the Perilium tracker, cards, yeah, Horologium, as mentioned before, all of this is looking great, and I'm sure, also judging by their previous project by Ludus Magnus Studio, quality is going to be top-notch. Actually, what you could expect, but it's always worth mentioning that when quality is that good.
Yes. Quality is really, really good. Okay, one more thing I really like about this game is this kind of two-dimension play. So we have the one dimension on the tactical level of play, or maybe kind of dungeon crawling, when you just go through the map and fight enemies and think about tactics and so on. And nearly the same time you have this story mode, when you can, for example, go inside the building and have some beer, or just search through the cabinet, or maybe lockpick the chest, yeah. And it really looks great, and the feeling is really awesome, because it dynamically changes from one dimension to another, and so you can have a kind of rest.
Yeah, because when you fight, it's usually fast-paced game.
Yes.
Plenty of things going on, plenty of things to think about. But when you get to this, for storytelling part, we may call it that way, the game slows down a bit, and it creates the good connection.
Yeah, it creates good connection. And if you are fans of role-playing games, of storytelling games, you can have parts of it inside this game. Yeah, it's not only dungeon crawler, it's not only hack and slash. The story mode, the story part of this game is really important. Yeah, and let's get back to the Horologium, because it's all connected. Once you are playing this storytelling bits of the mission, the time doesn't stop, and it's also great because, for example, when one of you is going inside the building, 3 of them can still do other things like prepare for next enemies and stuff like that. And it's not like you go inside the building, hit pause, and just read everything about what you did inside the building. Actually, everything you do inside the building takes you time, and time is essential here because you basically play against the clock. Yes. As you said, it's just managed by this Horologium, and the idea to me is really great. I think that's covered enough. Yeah. Okay. One more thing I like about this game is also this Perilium trackers, which are to track the threat our heroes are for the enemies, and are the essential part of the enemy AI mechanic, and I really like it. To me, it's one of these innovative parts of this game. I did not experience such a mechanic in any other board game, and to me it it really does its job. It's very, very useful because the AI of enemies are slightly better using this mechanic, so the enemies focus on the hero which is really important to our team,
which is logical.
Yeah, it's logical, and without this tracker it could be difficult because you have to use some other mechanics such as the closest hero or
and the fastest hero is in Gloomhaven.
Yeah. And here in this game, the target for enemy is the biggest threat. Yeah,
exactly.
Either it can be the melee hero, which just deals the big amount of damage, or maybe it can be the healer, which does its good job for just healing others and just keeping them alive.
So I could summarize something that we said about this game into one, that we like the innovation it brings to the table, because actually there is several elements I have not experienced in board games. Of course, I haven't played them all, but it's possible at the moment. But there's at least several innovative elements, like this Perilium tracker, like Horologium clock, 3D elements made out of cardboard. Maybe not that innovative, but not something you can commonly find in board games. And of course, this connection of storytelling with tactical skirmish kind of game, dungeon crawler, if you may call it that way. It's great. And one thing I also love about this one is the theme, because it's set in Renaissance Italy. It's not the theme which is explored in board games that much, I guess, at least not in this kind of board games. And there is mix, because you play with meeting historical characters, but there is this fantasy vibe to it, which I like a lot. It creates good connection, it's a good fusion of history and mythology, and I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, it's really great. So if you like historical tactical games, you have it. If you like a kind of fantasy dungeon crawlers, you have it.
Yeah, but I feel that at the moment there is too many generic fantasy dungeon crawler kind of game, and doing something like this, it's a smart move. It's a smart move, because most of the companies are betting on generic fantasy worlds. Yeah. And for me, it's great, and it will be even better, I guess, once the campaign book is ready, because it's also a sea of possibilities to include, actually any character you want. People from Papal State, from Venice, from Holy Roman Empire, and possibly from other European countries from that age. So yeah, it's a sea of possibility.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, just looking at enemies, we have Minotaur, for example, and we have, for example, a Stradiot. Yeah.
Or this one called Harkebusier, the guy with the rifle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rifleman.
And we have other characters that's laid over here, like for example Noble, Gypsy. We have this Swiss guards, from the Pope guard actually. Yeah. There are plenty of different kind of units, both historical and fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a great mix to me, and I guess to you also.
Yeah. I also really like this kind of a mix.
And I cannot say that I like it because I have not seen it, but I really count that this campaign is gonna be great, because this layered cake it creates, like, you know, the big plot, tactical game, and, you know, bits of story in each of the missions.
I really can't wait this plot when, for example, you can meet Leonardo or just do some cover missions for the Pope.
Exactly. This sounds great. I can't wait for it. So, how we like this game? How do you like this game?
I really like this game a lot. As I said previously, I like these 2 dimensions. I mean, this tactical and story dimension. I like these 3D elements, and playing this game, I, frankly speaking, had a lot of fun. I just couldn't wait to uncover secrets, plots of this mission. It was kind of thrilling. I really like this game. I also love this game. I could actually say what you said, because this game is already looking great. I can't wait to receive the full box once it's produced, because this is something that tingles my soul. You know, this is something. I feel this is something for me. Actually, I was following this project right from the beginning, and I was bombarding this Magnus. Hello, Emiliano. So I can receive the prototype just to cover this title, and because I felt it will be like, you know, something for me. So if you ask us, you should go ahead and buy it. Yes, definitely.
Once we are at buying things, we can discuss the price tag. Is it worth the price tag? So at the moment, this game is at $119 USD on Kickstarter for the full core edition. So that means core editions plus all the stretch goals, and there are plenty of stretch goals already unlocked. And how do I feel about the price? For me, it's spot on. It's a good price for a game of this caliber, because it's not a small game. It's a big game with plenty of plastic, cardboard, cards, and other elements, and made with, you know, with great quality. And I also think with a great feeling, because you can really see that someone creating this game is feeling the theme, that they are coming from Italy, the game is about Italy, and it all clicks.
Yeah, to me also this game is worth its price. It's worth mentioning that it's really big game, because as far as I remember, it contains about 26 missions.
Exactly, 26 missions plus some adventures, other adventures.
Yeah, plus some other adventures. So it's really big. It has a really good quality.
And just to mention, one mission here is 15 tarot cards. So 26. Yeah. You know, there is, like, for example, several hundred of these in the final box, just of this.
So for this price, you have 26 missions, and one mission is about, let's say, 3 hours of play.
Yeah, you can translate the price to the gameplay time.
Yeah,
and I think it's also great, because overall, it would be like 70 hours of gameplay. Probably depends how fast you play, but let's say 50 to 70, which is a lot for a single game. And I would just, you know, wish myself that I have this much time to use it on just one game. I really hope so.
Yeah, so looking from this side, I think it's worth its price, and it has some innovative items, elements, which you can't find in other board games for this moment. So it's, I think, another it's another thing to mention and to have in mind when we talk about the price and if this game is really worth its price. Because, for example, if you are fans of Renaissance, it will be very difficult to find such a board game. Yeah,
you won't be able to find it.
Yeah. So yeah, but here you have Nova Aetas.
Yeah, exactly. So we are not saying that this game is cheap, but I think the price tag is spot on. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's move on and answer the questions who we think this game is for. And we can address this game to a couple of groups. So first of them will be RPG lovers.
Yes, I'm one of them. I really like RPG games, both pen and paper, computer games, and of course board games as well. And here in Nova Aetas Renaissance we have a lot of RPG elements. So of course we have our heroes with some characteristics, with skill sets, with classes. We have a kind of experience system for these heroes. We have the story driven by mission cards. We can just uncover these plots. We have some skill tests, which is also kind of part of RPG games.
And what would be an RPG game without loots?
Yes, we have loots.
Plenty type of loots.
Yeah, we have kind of equipment to help our heroes doing the job in the mission.
And also crafting system.
Yes, we have crafting system. I really like games containing crafting system. So we can just gather the loot during the mission and then in town just craft from this loot another improved weapons or other items. And maybe one more thing to mention is this injury cards. So during the mission you can just have one or several of these cards taken because of heavy wounds, and to me it's another element of RPG.
Because they stay with you.
Yep.
They stay with you.
So like in other RPG games you can, for example, have a broken leg, broken arm and so on, and it affects your characteristics, your abilities. So
yeah, RPG lovers out there, if you are looking for RPG board game, it's not RPG board game, but board game with RPG elements, and you should definitely take a look at this one. The second group of people I would strongly recommend to check this game would be people that just like dungeon crawlers or skirmishes, because all of these elements coming from this type of games are present here, but with this story this game has, I think they work better because you are not limited just to killing monsters, but to do plenty of other things. And yeah, I think if you are looking for dungeon crawler, especially different kind of dungeon crawlers, like different approach at this kind of game, this one might be worth checking out for you.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I think the third group of people who would like this game are solo players. I mean kind of hard solo players because
hardcore
solo players because this game is kind of difficult. There's a lot of micromanagement. The Horologium, skills, equipment, tokens,
state tokens, and those skills. Some of them you are activating them, but some of them are activated automatically. And you should remember that you have this kind of skill that will affect your hero, your tokens, or or the battlefield. So yeah, it might get wild in this game.
Yes, but if you are kind of these hardcore solo players, hello Marek, and you're not afraid of this micromanagement, you can have a lot of fun with it, especially just exploring these plots and these story elements of play, because to me it's a kind of what's inside this building?
Yeah,
I have to explore it.
Yeah.
And just go on.
And by explore it, we do not mean explore it like unfold another map tile and kill all the enemies, but rather explore the story.
Explore the story, exactly. Uncover elements of this plot. Interact with what's inside this building, with people inside this building,
or monsters.
Or monsters, for example. Yeah, but yeah, this story part of this game is something which is very important, and for solo players it can be a kind of element which drives them to the play and make them just want to have discovered what's behind the next door.
Yeah. So basically we are saying that this game is soloable, but you have to keep in mind that there will be a lot of micromanagement and a lot of things going on the battlefield, and you will have to deal with all of that on your own. But if you are a solo player, you probably already are experienced in this kind of situations. And another group of players we would address this game to would be people that really value the campaign mode in games, because some of the people just like to play single scenario, which will be also possible because on Kickstarter there are already several adventures added as a stretch goals and unlocked at the moment. But if you like campaigns, this game offers you a lot of gameplay time. Spend it on one campaign with bunch of your heroes who will develop as you play it. And I think that people loving to play board games with campaign modes will be, to say the least, satisfied with this one.
Yes. If you are players who really like this part of improving between missions, crafting, or maybe just exploring the story between missions, I think this game is something for you.
Yeah, and who else is this game for?
Yeah, who?
For me, because
no, it's for me.
Because I must say I really enjoyed the gameplay, and I wish we had more missions, but we received just one mission with this game, and actually this mission is not connected anyhow with the campaign that will be in the original core box. It's just for gameplay purposes, created for this kind of purpose, and we loved it. And I hope I can play this game next year probably. We just end the first mission, and to me, I just can't wait to improve my characters. I just can't wait to craft some more items and just to know what are these items we have just looted for. I just can't wait to know if the Pope has another mission for us, or just to know if we are in fact heroes, or maybe we are villains. Because there's a huge story behind it. And you can develop it in both ways. And look at this. For example, there are plenty of loot cards with, you know, equipment, with ingredients and stuff like that. And with this neat idea that some of the story is going on here, and probably the other part of the story is going on in the campaign book, you can, you know, connect the loot you've just gathered with the story. You know, it creates, you know, different kind of possibilities, because let's say if you had sacred relic, you can do this and this, but if you don't, nothing happens and you just move along. You know, many possibilities over there, connecting, you know, these two planes that we were talking about, the storytelling part, tactical part. It's great.
Yes.
And now let's get to the favorite section of this video, not forgotten at all, which is answering community questions that I received concerning this game. And we're gonna run this question one by one. So starting with you, we have a question from newly hired barista from the Instagram. Hello. He's asking, does it scale from solo to multiplayer well?
In my opinion, it scales pretty well. However, as we mentioned previously, there's a kind of micromanagement. If you're not afraid of this micromanagement, I think it scales well.
Yeah, so we could say that as each cooperative game scales usually well, going from solo to many players, but in this case you have to take under consideration that there will be a lot of you to keep you busy in this game when you are playing it solo, starting from Horologium, the clock, all the skills you have, and all the things that are going on the battlefield.
Yeah, maybe one more thing to mention is that here we do not have a dedicated solo player mode. So in general, you play all heroes when you play solo, and well, every time you play this game, you have to play all 4 characters.
Yeah, or 6 even.
Or even 6.
But of course it will be not wise to do.
yeah, but you still play all the characters. So also in solo mode you have to play all these characters.
Yep. And we have another question from newly hired barista, which is, how is the setup and teardown time? Does it all fit in the box or alternative storage needed? So I will answer that. The setup is pretty quick. Actually, comparing to Descent or Gloomhaven, for me it's way quicker. Especially if you have you know, elements divided previously, so you know, all the all the elements for the one character kept in one string back or whatever. So the setup is pretty quick, and it's even better because the mission tells you what elements you need for the game, but you don't have to set up all of these elements at once. So as the story unfolds, you're gonna add new map tiles and new buildings and perhaps monsters on the battlefield, and it's great. For me, the setup time is real good.
Yeah. The setup is really quick. You start the game with only 1 tile and just a few of enemies on it. So comparing to Gloomhaven, the setup is much quicker.
Yeah. Okay, Black Table Geekster asks us, is this a dungeon crawler?
Yes, it is a dungeon crawler, because this dungeon crawler part is important element of this game. However, it is not only dungeon crawler, but if you like dungeon crawler board games, here you have the important element of it.
Okay, so another one similar question to me by Board Gaming with My Family. Never heard of it. Can you sell it to me in 10 words? So for me, this game is completely different approach at dungeon crawler games, introducing many innovative elements and game mechanics and done in great production quality. That probably weren't 10 words, but I think I did my part pretty well here. Okay, and two questions for you, the same. One is from Psiakro and the other one is Trentopolis, and they both ask, can you give it to me for free?
I would really want to give it to you for free. Unfortunately, we have to back up this game on Kickstarter, so yeah, it's not free. However, as we said previously, it's really worth its price.
Yeah, or you can give it a shot and ask wonderful people at Ludus Magnus Studio if they have some spare copy. Probably not, but you can try it. Okay. Okay, so this is it, and another batch of questions. Okay, so Visnet is asking us, how rule heavy is it? What game can you compare it to?
I would compare it to Gloomhaven, because it's a kind of dungeon crawler with some heavy story elements. Yeah, however, we have very innovative elements here, such as this Horologium, managing initiative. Yeah, so I could compare it to Gloomhaven, maybe Descent, but I think Gloomhaven is more similar to Nova Aetas, and rules are kind of complex, however they are intuitive. So after playing the first version, I think you will just remember at least the core of these rules.
Yeah, and to make sure, we are not comparing game mechanics, because game mechanics are completely different from here to Gloomhaven, but overall feeling perhaps it's something.
Feeling, yeah.
And for me, comparing it to Descent, for me this game is way more mature than Descent, because Descent for me is simply, there is of course campaign and stuff, but it's not on the same level.
Descent is more like hack and slash.
Definitely.
And here we have more focus on this RPG elements.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the story here. Yeah. And for me, I do not enjoy story in Descent that much.
Because Descent is not much focused on the story.
It's not this kind of game. So yeah. And so another one coming from Erasio. How long is the setup? So as I mentioned before, setup is pretty quick, and the game you don't have to have all elements at once on the board. You just need the core elements, and more of them will be added as you play.
Okay, if we can compare setup for this game to setup of other games, for example Gloomhaven, Descent, or Lord of the Rings, Jars in Middle-earth. Yeah, I think the setup here is quicker than in these games.
Maybe not in Journeys in Middle-earth, because in this one actually it also you build up your map as you play it.
Yeah,
so I would say it's similar.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, it's similar. Oh, so yeah. In this, if you look at things from this perspective, it's similar to Journeys in Middle-earth.
Yeah,
in terms
maybe
of
the setup is similar, but going through the game and adding another tiles and so on, I think here in Nova Aetas it's simpler.
It's simpler because you have only like 2-3 tiles, map tiles, whereas in Journeys in Middle-earth you have plenty of them. You have to search for them and
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay, is it a dungeon crawler or a war game? Do minis come in pieces? This is by GASG 5000.
Okay.
Is it a dungeon crawler?
It is a dungeon crawler.
It is a type of a dungeon crawler, yeah. Okay. Is it a war game?
To me, it's more dungeon crawler than a war game.
Yeah, it's not a war game because I think, I don't know if it's what was the intention of this question, but I think maybe it was about the skirmish. So it is a dungeon crawler and skirmish, but it's not a war game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
miniatures?
Yeah. Do they come in pieces? No, they are assembled. They are ready. You can take them out of the box and put them on the battlefield, and they are ready. Okay. So another question by Bordel or Board ELV. How do you like 3D elements? Cool or annoying?
To me, they are really cool. For the first look, they look rather simple, but in this simplicity is a kind of a genius to me, because they are simple but looking great and doing their job on this battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. And we covered that in the video, but they are not only here to look, which actually I thought they are here only for the, looking good purposes and maybe some tactical purposes, but that you can interact with the buildings or, destroy the trees is great. For me, it's great. And I love how this game looks when you have it on the table.
Yeah, and maybe one thing to mention, they are also easily assembled.
Yeah, easily assembled, but also you may come across a situation when the building falls. Okay. So another question from Mariano PW: is it worth it in your opinion?
In my opinion, definitely.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's definitely worth the price, and I really had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Same here, so I cannot add anything else really. Joao Pedro FM23 is asking us, is it good and when is it coming out? So, is it good?
Yeah, just as I said, it's really good, and I just can't wait to play another mission and to improve my heroes through the story. Yeah,
so for me it's also really good game. If you like what you see, if you like what we are talking about, you should definitely try it. When is it coming out? Who knows? It's a Kickstarter game. It's currently on Kickstarter. Probably it will be out 2021, but as we have the COVID situation at the moment, no one can be really sure anything. But let's hope for 2021. Okay. Also, Mini GP was asking us, isn't it too similar to the previous Ludus Magnus game Sine Tempore? We cannot answer that. We haven't played Sine Tempore, and we simply don't know. We simply don't know. Don't know. Okay. Another question. Exe Trooper is asking us, love the player's characters boards. So how the wheel action mechanics feels like?
Yeah, to me it's really good. It's very innovative. However, this Horologium is managing the initiative in a very good way to me.
Yeah. So once you get the rules, how is it working? How you activate your heroes? How do enemy act? It's really fluid, and it's running this game. It's making you, it's putting a pressure on you, and it's making you think. And I mentioned it in this video that for me it's one of the favorite, not only like elements, physical elements, but game mechanics in this game. Yeah, so it works, and it works pretty well, pretty darn well.
Yes, it's very innovative. However, it's also to me intuitive. So it's rather simple, and it manages the turn or the initiative in the best way I've ever experienced in board games. It's just my frank opinion. Yeah,
because there is nothing here like you end your turn and you start all over again. It's just going and going and going, and it's keeping the pace of this game, the tempo, right on the spot.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, so this is executed really well. Okay, I think that's it for the community questions we've had. I hope we've helped you guys a little bit to know more about this title. And if you have any more questions, you can add them in this video or on my Instagram or Facebook, wherever you will find the post, because I will be posting about this game, I'm pretty sure, like a lot. So yeah, I will try to answer them all before the Kickstarter campaign ends. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our little review. It's not a review actually, but it's our feelings about this game and how do we like it.
And we like it.
And we did like it a lot, yeah. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next materials from our channel. And if you like this one, it's still on Kickstarter, you can support it. So if you like it, just go away from this video and go to Kickstarter, and click play.